Magnanimous Rory. That was difficult for me to say, wasn't it? All right, sir. We have some statistics rolling into this year's Sheffield. We had a fantasy league, which the community gave confidence points to all of the lifters. And from that, we're going to say what the community has voted the top five in ranking order. And you can also tell us, is it a strong second, like there's a spread, or a strong first? We have the stats rolling into Sheffield. The public has spoken. I also have polls up on King of the List Instagram asking questions. Who's going to win key battles, as well as some milestones, etc. And I'll read you the results of the polls leading into this Sheffield. These are the questions that need to be answered at this Sheffield. Who's winning these key battles? Who's hitting those key milestones? As well as who does the public think is going to be in the top five full rankings? These are the statistics given not by any of these hosts, any podcasts. The public has spoken, Rory. And listen, if you're going to play a powerlifting fantasy league, you're a fucking nerd. Let me just get that out the way. What is wrong with you? Get up. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, but I say with affection, you're a powerlifting nerd at least. Well, who are we to do? We are running this thing. What am I talking about? I'm doing a podcast about it. What does that make me? But all right, let's get that out the way. But you are a powerlifting nerd. I say that with all due affection. So you probably know your shit. You probably know your shit. And while you can listen to a preview show where you have a panel of 1, 2, 3, 4 people, we have a panel that stretches. How many countries, Rory? How many countries signed up for this?
33.
33 nations. People listen to podcasts and say there's bias. There's bias on the location of the podcast host. There's bias on, are they men, women, whatever the hell it could be. People from the powerlifting community across the world, 33 nations polled for these top fives. That's about as clean cut as you get. So when we say the top five, now me and you could speak to our thoughts on it. But I think it becomes a little bit more clear that we have these statistics. And then I'll break into the battles and what the public thinks the battles, who's winning the battles, etc. Again, thousands of people are voting online on these. So there's no bias. People listen to podcasts. Oh, you didn't give this person love. You didn't give that person love. I can't believe your top five didn't include. No bias here. 33 nations, thousands of people all over the world. Stuff it. You know what I'm saying? I'm zesty today, aren't I?
You
A little
are.
bit.
You are.
Yeah, I am. You're fucking right, I am, kid. All right. Let's start with the battles, because I think the top through five will burn the battles and people already know. I could tell you the battles, and it doesn't mean where the placings will be. So let's keep the intrigue and not bury it here. Do you have the battle totals, and I could throw it up to you which ones we're talking about, and you could tell me the results?
Yep. I got them here.
All right, sir. Let's do the first battle. Let's do one that everyone's super duper excited about. What are the results from the public? Who wins the battle of the 93s?
I think this is the most exciting one. And so in third place with 11% is Gustav. In second place, 19% Emil. And then Russ is at 70%. So like landslide in favor of Russ winning the battle of the 93s here.
Are you shocked at, well, first off, I'll tell you right now, I'm shocked Gustav is ranked so low. He won Sheffield. He's phenomenal. I get it. Emil is the reigning champ and he's PRing. Gustav is PRing as well, though. And Gustav, I thought this would be a little tighter. Now, Russ is extremely popular. But again, this is the powerlifting community. 71% Are you surprised on the staggering lead he has in terms of confidence from the public?
I am a little bit. Like I also think that Russ is going to win, but I'm certainly not 70% confident that he's going to 71% confident that he's going to win. He's hit some phenomenal training numbers recently, but like Gustav has been hitting rep PBs. He hasn't shown us what his top end is, and so maybe it's a little bit hard to judge, but he's certainly been hitting rep PBs. Emil has been doing some crazy work in training. Like he has hit some truly phenomenal, like his rep work on his deadlifts in particular is just blowing up. And so, like, does that automatically mean that his top end is going to blow up? Like, not necessarily, but it's sure going to give you some confidence that there's something going on there, right?
Mm. And how about Emil and Gustav now? 11 to 19 or 18% are we looking at here?
11 to 19 is what I've got.
11 to 19. Are you shocked Gustav is in last place? Now, Emil did win the latest battle, but they've gone back and forth. Is that surprising to you?
Yeah, it is a little bit. It is a little bit. Like they've traded back and forth. Gustav is a Sheffield champion. He's been doing this a really long time. I actually found a photo of him from receiving a medal at 2018 Worlds, right? Like he's been doing this for a minute or two. Um, they both don't have to travel very far, which is a bit of an advantage. I do wonder if the consistency that Emil has been showing recently is really going in his favor. Like his training is just consistently always good. He's stuck with the same coach for a very long time now. Gustav has like changed coaches a couple of times in the last 12 months. And like I wonder if that like lack of consistency is like taking away people's
Hmm.
confidence. But it also might just be that Gustav doesn't post very much. And so people kind of forget about him because they don't see him posting big rep PRs all the time.
Couple things that gleam. Now, first off, it is true. You move from a couple different coaches. People don't know. It's question marks around you. And sometimes moving from a coach and it stimulates some massive growth and you're just booming up. Other times you're trying to find yourself. In a transition period, you don't want to get caught in the battle of your life in a transition period. Um, so fair enough with that. Emil is smashing some PRs. He's looking really good. He's consistent. He's the reigning world champion. That's got to stand for something. So, all right, fair enough. But Gustav is also hitting PRs. And to your point earlier, 2018, my friend, he won the Junior World Championships, out totaled everybody in the Open. Gustav is the real deal, and he's been so almost a decade deep at the very tippy top. Now, with Russ being 71%, I got you, it's Russ. I got you, he's a perennial performer. But would you say this is the toughest battle in his career, given he's never in his life faced men as big, as strong, and they are also world champions, Sheffield champions. They are not intimidated. Famously, he said, Jurens in Aharo, these little 83s. And Jurens was like, excuse me, we're not little 83s anymore. Now, if he thought they were little 83s, these 93s are way too big to be calling little. He's never faced a challenge this big, literally and figuratively, in terms of the numbers, the size of the people he's clashing with. Is this the biggest test so far of Russ's career?
I think it has to be. I think it has to be. Like if we count up the collective world records and titles, like if we include European championships and world championships, and particularly if we're including medals in those classes as well, between Emil and Gustav, I haven't actually counted it up, but it's got to, they must have 10 worlds and Euros medals between them, right? Like I've got Emil's open powerlifting here in front of me. Um, Worlds 2022, Worlds 2021, third place. Worlds 2022, second place. Sheffield, went to Sheffield in 2023. Um, Worlds in 2023, third place. Worlds 2024, second place. Like he's just been collecting medals for a long time. By the way, current reigning world champion as well. Gustav has been competing since 2015, right? Like he's been doing this for 11 years now. Like he's been doing this about as long as some people listening to this podcast have been alive. And that's wild, right? And he's been winning that entire time. like you pointed out, he won Worlds in 2018. He won Euros in 2018. At the World Classic in 2019, he came second at the age of 23 in the Opens, mind you. And he's been like first, second, or third at Worlds basically every year since then.
And I'm just pulling up Gustav's stats here. Do you remember Russell Orhe for the longest time? He was winning world championships and the number 183 in the world, floating around the 840s. Okay. And for the longest time was winning that. In the year 2024, he hit 860. He finally broke through, had a really big performance. But he's floating around the 840s just to give you the type of ass that he's up against. In the 840s, he was dominant, winning by 20 kilo spreads over the other 83s. Gustav and Emil, how much bigger and stronger are these gentlemen in terms of a challenge for Russ? Gustav would say that's really cool. As a 93 junior, I was in the 840s. Like, what are we talking about here? That you were decimating the competition and the number 183 in the world with a huge spread in the 840s. I'm hitting that as a junior. That's behind me. Like that's a bad day for me. That you need to be bigger and stronger to make me blush, for me to be at all worried about you. This is in terms of in just like credibility, in terms of how many records these gentlemen have broken in world championships. Again, we said Gustav's winning world titles back in 2018. It's nuts. You even track the progress in 2018 when Gustav's winning at 830. Where was Russ's total back in 2018? Gustav, just telling you, Gustav has been bigger and stronger than Russ almost their entire existence until NAPFs, and then we're talking like a kilo off. This is a very big challenge for Russ. He's vulnerable. This is a tough one. This is close. 71% of the public have him winning. It's more of a flip of the coin than you think. I am fine if someone says Russ wins it, but this is a battle. This is a really big challenge for Russ, and hats off for him to take it. He called his shot last year, said, "See you boys soon." They said they're going to welcome him. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to say the least. All right. Well, sorry, did you have anything more you want to throw in there?
The only thing I want to add to that is like these three men, their best totals are 3 kilos apart, right? Russ has the highest total in competition of these three men at 918. But then Emil is at 917.5, 500 grams off. And then Gustav is his best total in competition is 915, right? Like I'm not seven. Like how I can't look at that and go, yeah, I'm 70% sure that 3 kilo lead is like enough to win, right?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to another intriguing battle, the Battle of the 47s. What are we looking at, sir?
So two lifters in the Battle of the 47s at 27%, we have Heather Connor. And then at 73%, we have Tiff Chapon, Turbo Tiff.
This is interesting. Obviously, they clashed in Germany, World Championships 2025, and Heather came out on top. Heather has looked great in preparation for this, smashing some big weights. But since that loss, Turbo Tiff has sparked something, hitting back to back, just repeated 450s on the platform and in the gym. Are you surprised the amount of confidence people have behind Turbo Tiff right now?
I am a little bit. Like obviously Tiffany is very, very strong. Her best total is the best total out of these two lifters. She's gone over 450 or over 3 times in a row just in her last 3 meets: World Games, Silent Worker, and then French Nationals. But Heather has been doing this a really long time. She is the reigning world champion. Last time these two women went head to head, Heather won. And I think that is like an important thing to keep in mind. And she's looking really, really strong. She's PR'd her bench press, PR'd her 1 rep bench press. She's PR'd her squat by like 7.5 kilos. Her deadlift, I don't think she's hit over 212.5 in training, but I think I saw her hit like a 207 recently. It was just like incredible. It was like probably looked like a second attempt. So she's definitely stronger than last time they were head to head where she won. So I'm not particularly surprised that Tiff is more people are calling her to win. I am surprised that it's like 3-1 in Tiff's favor though.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we really broke into this in the preview show. I know that people are looking at Tiff as the bigger, stronger lifter. It is going to come down to the confidence on the day and what that breeds in terms of attempt selection and how on point they are. If they reach and overreach on seconds, over and then extend themselves, possibly overextend on thirds, our seconds grinders, our thirds overreaching. I mean, if Tiff is 100% on point and they have data points and pathways to get 450, they have data points and pathways to get there because she's done it 3 times on the platform. Not in prep, on the platform 3 times. 450 just might be a little too much out of reach for Heather. The problem is getting to 450 while under 47 kilos, international judging, you got to do this. She did it at World Games. God bless. I mean, she's capable. And a lot of people think she's going to replicate that. Either way it goes, it's going to be a tight battle. And Heather, of course, with that monumental deadlift, is going to have the last say. So you slip up, you miss one, the door swings, and Heather's going to kick that door right in. I can't wait. I can't wait for that battle. How about the battle of the 84 plus?
So this one is much closer. So second in Battle of the 84s, we have Sunita at 43%, and then Britt at 57%.
That is damn near flip a coin.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, it is.
this does not surprise me so much because that's how the rivalry is actually going, is flip a coin back and forth. I know as of late, Britt is in pole position. She's the world champion, world record holder. Her training, by the way, is looking phenomenal. But Sunita has proved she herself was world champion, world record holder. I know Britt has a head-to-head wins over her as of late. Sunita herself has head-to-head wins over Britt. These two have gone back and forth. I had Britt just recently on the podcast and talked about how much this rivalry has pushed her and pushed the division and been a huge highlight in powerlifting, period, let alone just on the women's side. In your estimation, is this a flip of the coin? For me, it's just in prep specifically for this Sheffield. I haven't seen a lot of Sunita, but from what I've seen out of Britt, my God, is it convincing. When Britt hits like that, usually it means a big day. And the silence out of Sunita has me a stitch worried because usually she posts. Usually she's not shy. And given the fact that in the rivalry, which is an amazing rivalry for sure, but in that rivalry, Britt pulled ahead, won the world championships, won world games, and now has the world record. She's got a triple crown here going in this rivalry. So coming into this, already I'm going to be leaning towards her as the favorite due to the momentum she has. I need to see something in prep to change my mind. I haven't seen that coming out of Sunita. Not to say it hasn't happened. I'm just saying she's not posting. And yet still, the polls are this close. Why do you think that is?
I think that Sunita gets a lot of credit, and she should rightly gets a lot of credit for her phenomenal squat. Right, she comes out guns blazing, first lift of the day, and there's a really good chance that at Sheffield in a week, or a little bit over a week, she is going to walk away with probably a world record squat. I should say possibly a world record squat, probably something around 320 kilos plus or minus a little bit, right? And that is a huge lead coming out of the squats. Like Britt's best squat to date in competition is 295. So, with Sunita sort of floating around the 318, 319 mark, that's about a 25 kilo lead coming out of the squats. And it kind of means that Britt then needs to spend the rest of the day making up that 25 kilos that she is behind coming out of squats.
And also, I think people believe in the potential that Sunita has. World Games, you get a call that doesn't go with you, but the potential top end of that squat, while 318, believers would say she's got 325 in her. She's got et cetera. Like I agree. I think the confidence in her squat, should she go 3 for 3 top end, it's intimidating. It's hard to even wrap your head around. Her squat is ungodly strong. So I think people have a lot of confidence in that squat, and if she could build an early lead. Nevertheless, Britt still the favorite, but it's a close one. And that's more a testimony to how good of a matchup this is, how good of a rivalry we've already gotten from them. I mean, they've blessed us with some amazing sports moments. All right, we have some more polls here. The next question I have for you, sir. A lot of hype around young Anthony McNaughton. Famously, we have Bobb Matthews totaling 1010.5 at SBD Austin, moving ahead of Rondell in 2025 as the number one ranked 120 kilo lifter. Anthony McNaughton came on the podcast. I pressed him and said, do you think it's possible? Because people are mentioning your name alongside Bobb Matthews. And wouldn't it be something if you could actually, as a 105, out total Bobb Matthews? And the irony, of course, Bobb Matthews famously saying, don't get clapped by a 105. And Anthony McNaughton has an opportunity here to clap a 120 as a 105, and not just any, but Bobb Matthews himself. And of course, Rondell, at least in 2025, hasn't done any heavier either. The statement that would be for Anthony McNaughton to move forward past giants like those, it's huge. It's a huge statement on the biggest platform. Everybody's watching Sheffield. So I pose the question, will Anthony McNaughton out total Bobb? And put in brackets to remind everybody, Bobb did 1010.5. And what are the results the public said?
So it is 72% say yes, he will out total 1010.5. 72%.
What are your thoughts on that? Is this just how what are your thoughts on it? Give it to me.
I'm surprised that people are so confident in that. I think Anthony McNaughton, I mean, I think I called on the preview podcast that I think he's going to come second. Go listen to that if you haven't already. And so, like, I have a lot of confidence that he is a fantastic lifter, and I think we're going to see him do some amazing things. His best total so far is 979. So we're talking about him adding 32 kilos onto his total, which look strange. Oh, sorry. Yes, 979. And so, like, obviously, stranger things have happened than a lifter adding more than 30 kilos on their total in one go. But like, we're looking at a person who already has an elite total. We're looking at somebody who is under a lot of pressure here, right? Like Sheffield is a meet where a missed attempt could cost you thousands of dollars. Anthony is not new to the top level scene, but he's sort of re-emerged after a little while, like not being on the international stage, right? So look, I have confidence in him. I just think that that's a big ask, and expecting it out the gate like that is just, there's a lot of pressure to put somebody under.
It's interesting because our hosts were somewhat shy in saying they're going to put that much confidence behind Anthony. But the public, including Joe B, who came on the podcast, and he seems like Joe Borenstein is talking like 1030 for Anthony. It's in the realm of possibility. There are people who are believers of Anthony. And I mean, like, he is clapping everybody. He is the next big thing. And I people who know though, they're like, Joe B isn't just a lifter who doesn't pay attention. I don't know if you've seen his Year in Wrap Up podcast. God bless. Thank you for the support, Joe B. My man listens to every single King of List, it would appear. He is like top 1%er. He knows. He's a powerlifting nerd like us. He's not one of those guys who just, I lift, but I don't pay attention. He's in the know, and he's following people, and he's keeping his eyes on the game. And I have confidence in, a lot of people have confidence in Anthony McNaughton right now. It makes you rethink. It makes you rethink this young man. It is a huge ask, but if you start adding up some of the training we've seen, I am very much intrigued. If he can cross 1010.5, oh my freaking goodness. We're talking pound for pound status. Everybody's going to be talking about it.
Look, I am backing Anthony. Like I am bullish on Anthony being a fantastic lifter. He is also a young man, right? He's 25. He's got time to, like, on the podcast with Dr. Helms a few months ago. We were talking like men in powerlifting continue to get stronger for years beyond where he is today, right? Like he's got a long career ahead of him. Um, and I think like I think he is going to be one of these greats that we talk about for a long time. I just don't think that 1 week from now is when we should necessarily expect to see that.
How about this one? Another poll. Does Perk total 900 kilos? What are the stats on that?
This one's a bit of a landslide. So 82% of people are saying that Perk will total 900 kilos. 82%.
And all right, we've seen 897 in the gym. Obviously, it's literally in a gym, so it's not the standard home cooking, no travel, yada yada. But he doesn't have the Sheffield hype, the crowd in front of him. He wasn't peaked yet, not fully peaked anyways. He's been talking about jumping around from coach to coach, been with the same coach for years now. They know how to peak him. Joe Stanek knows how to peak him. So we're expecting top end peak level Perk. Does that surprise you at all?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. He's demonstrated how close he can get. That 897, I'm pretty sure, was on the same day. Like he's not doing this spread across several weeks of training, like some of the other lifters are showing their totals, like spread across days or weeks of training. He's heavy, but not very heavy. He's like 75 kilos. So, a 1 kilo cut can make a difference, but it's not like he's cutting 5 or 6 kilos like some of these other men are.
Mm.
So, and he hit that enormous 330.5 squat triple, which I don't know what the top end on that is, but it's a little bit more than 330.5. I'll give him that.
It's crazy. I think Perk's going to make a massive, serious statement here, and I think this is a good segue. We have from our fantasy league, and again, these are the insiders. You join a powerlifting fantasy league, you're you're not just a casual, all right? You know your stuff. You've been paying attention, and the insiders, thousands of from 33 nations across the world, have spoken. We have the top five in order, men and women. Let's do ladies first.
So we'll start at number 5 and we'll work our
That's
way
right.
up.
Oh yeah.
Woman number 5, Heather Connor. Woman number 4, Brittany Schlater. Number 3, Meg Scanlon. Number 2, Alba Bostrom, and actually by a landslide as well. Number
Wow.
1, Tiff.
So Alba's number 2 by a landslide, or you're keying up Turbo Tiff as by a landslide?
Sorry, actually, both of those. Both of those things are true.
Okay. Okay. So the confidence in Turbo Tiff, I'm I'm totally fine with obviously picking Turbo Tiff. It's just all the nations, and people could say, king of the lifts, English speaking, Western, say whatever the hell you want. But 33 nations people spoke on this. Turbo Tiff, number 1 by a landslide. And more to that, Alba, the Battle of the 63s is actually one that I personally thought was going to be super tight. People have a hard time deciding on. And Alba, a clear favorite here. Now, I dropped that podcast with Alba not long ago, and just, a few weeks leading into this, and she was saying her motivations behind it. And she's been hitting PRs and not posting, but she said, and the same thing I said about Sonita, if you're online and you're like, wow, I'm not seeing a lot of training coming out of this person, where's this confidence coming from? But if you listen to Alba on podcasts, she is extremely confident. She's extremely motivated. She's given all the reason. Sonita, I haven't seen her. I was going to have her on the podcast with Britt. She had to pull out. She actually had a flood in her basement. God bless her. Hopefully everything's all good, Sonita. But she hasn't been on podcast to tell how things have been going. Not to my knowledge, anyways. So usually your confidence has got to come from somewhere. But Elbow, while not posting, she was on King of Lift saying, "We're all good. I'm trending for PRs, and I'm highly motivated." Sheffield clipped it up. SBD clipped it up. Sent it out there as well. Her talking about her motivations and revenge arc she has going towards this. But what are your thoughts on this top five? As well as, okay, so Heather made the top five, but people don't think they'll win the battle. But I mean, whether or not Heather wins the battle of 47s, to go to Sheffield, if she does fulfill what the public thinks she can and ends up in the top five, that is huge for Heather, anyways. And that's the silver lining that you also got to look at. If Heather loses the battle of the 47s but finishes top five, hey, I think she'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, she's not going home pissed off. She'll be like, all right, fine. I beat her at Worlds, lost to her at Sheffield, top five in the world at Sheffield. I had a pretty good freaking year. You know what I'm saying? Like, that nobody's mad at that. What are your thoughts on what you're reading here?
I this is pretty much the top five that I would expect as well. Like maybe shuffled around a little bit, but I think all of these women are like in contention for that top end. I think one thing that doesn't come out of these numbers is quite how close some of this is going to be. And so like I think these top five absolutely make sense, but the exact order could very much come down to the third deadlifts, right? You know, the difference between taking a 2 kilo jump and a 5 kilo jump, or missing your third and only getting your second attempt deadlift, right? Like that could end up being the difference here between, heck, taking a chip at the beginning of the day on squats and then what that ends up making you have to deadlift at the end of the day. That could be the difference here between coming third and fourth.
It also has to be said, a lot of people talked about Team France at the World Championships 2025. France was a powerhouse. Always, like, how many, we all seen the pictures of Penna, Tiff, Leah Bava with the gold medal in their mouth and multiple world champions. And you throw in there people like Noemi Alibert and Jad Jacob, who of recent years winning these world titles, like whether they're winning world titles or coming in on the podium, France has always been a powerhouse. 2025, am I incorrect? Did they not get shut out? They did, didn't they?
I'm just checking at the moment to try and see if
I'm
that's
going through my
correct or
mental
not.
Rolodex here, my friend. They got shut out on the women's side, and it's the women that are the
I think you're
strongest.
right. Yeah, I think you're right. Tiffany came second. Noemi Alibert came fourth in the 52s. 57s, Jar Jacob came second. 63s,
It's Alba.
France did not. Yep. Yeah, Alba in
69
the
is
63s.
Agatha.
69s,
76 is
Agatha.
Carlina. 84, Amanda. And of course, Brit. No, man. And on the men's side, they
They
didn't.
got shut
They got
out.
shut out at the World Championships.
Been a long
Listen,
time since
listen.
that's happened. It's been years since that happened.
Yeah, listen to me, my friend. If Turbo Tiff wins Sheffield, what a comeback for France. France, who was winning all these world championships and got shut out in 2025. And there's whispers, there's murmurs, people saying, okay, they're coming down. They're coming back down. That's the end of France. For Turbo Tiff to rally back and win Sheffield would be huge for France in terms of coming back, in terms of reigniting that flame. And if you paid attention to French nationals, they got shooters on the men's side as well. They are a stacked national team. 2025 was an anomaly. It's not the new normal. Turbo Tiff has a opportunity here at the first Sheffield in 2026 to right that ship and remind people what France is all about. If she can pull this off, huge for France. Huge. But anyways, all right. Let's talk about the top five men.
All right. On the men's side, we're going to see in number or called by the public in number 5, Emil Krastev. In number 4, Russell Orhe. Number 3, Mr. Joseph Borenstein. Number 2, Anthony McNaughton, and by a huge margin as well. And then in number 1, with 89% of the votes saying that he's going to win, Austin Perkins.
Yeah. So everybody's look at the king is here, pound for pound. Last Sheffield didn't have the Sheffield he wanted, but lightning doesn't strike twice. I think Perk is a solid favorite, both on when we were asking online on in the King of Lift stories, will Perk total 900? There's so much support that yes, he will. Who will win? Perk. Based off the Fantasy League Perk, it's Perk. But Anthony McNaughton, such a strong second place. And so many people online saying, like, if you think he's a strong second, you got to be asking yourself, like, by what percentage are they predicting he's going to break? Well, apparently they're thinking he's jacking it all the way up past 10.5. Apparently, judging off of what I was asking the public and them saying back, there's he's going to take this world record and go for a ride. So it makes sense that they have him at second. If they think that's where his top end's going to be, above and beyond 10.5. Now, you do have Joe Bornstein in third. Is he a healthy third? Do you know?
Yes, yes. So he's about 35% of the total vote for third, and a little portion in for second as well. He's like a healthy third there.
Gotcha. Well, there's your podium picks by the public. I don't think any major surprises there. And again, Russell just outside a podium. I think Russell take it as his debut into the 90. Well, I know obviously he made one in the 93s at NAPS, but at this level, anyways, with this kind of competition and opposition, and my gosh, talk about a trial by fire. Okay, you get NAPS and straight into a battle with Gustav and Emil head to head, no less, the reigning world champion. I mean, he's literally getting a title shot. You know what I'm saying? If Emil is the world champ and he's saying, okay, let's rumble 93 kilo class with international judging. But, and then of course, Emil right there, just ending off the top five. It's going to be good, man. I'm also, I understand fully well the confidence behind Perk, the confidence behind Anthony. For a long time, I was saying he slept on. People are looking past him. Apparently not. Apparently, or maybe people have said that enough times and enough people have said it. I've had enough people on the podcast. Gavin was like, I mean, people are sleeping on Anthony. I can't believe he's not getting more hyped. Joe B's coming on here. I can't believe he's not getting more hyped. But if enough people keep saying it, guess what's going to happen? That hype is going to be the hype will build. Enough people have said it enough times. He's got an opportunity here. And then of course Russ in the 93s. Let's see what happens. How big of a total he posts up at Sheffield, and then with bated breath, we'll watch U.S. Nationals. Wouldn't it be the wildest if Russ wins the Battle of the 93s, breaks the world record yet again in back-to-back performances, defeats the reigning world champion, defeats an all-time great in Gustav, who's won a world championship and won Sheffield, and then gets out totaled at U.S. Nationals and doesn't go to the World Championships. Wouldn't that be insane?
That would be heartbreaking. And I mean, this is kind of a niche occurrence because Sheffield's moving to the end of the year instead of at the beginning of the year, give him a little bit more time in between and stuff like that. But that would be heartbreaking, wouldn't it? He would have to be the first reserve if that happened, right? And then
God, I hope.
You're never hoping for somebody to pull out, but like you're a little bit hoping that somebody's going to pull out and he's still going to make it, right?
Like, yeah, some kind of a bend in the rules, squint and say, all right, you got 293s this year. Come on, it's Russ. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah, you get 9 in your team this year just because you got the Sheffield.
Right.
The Sheffield
Come on, wild card him. And representing Canada, his North American brothers, it's Russell Rory. Like, but yeah, I don't know. Only time will tell. If Russ lives up, and there's a lot of people who are expecting big things from Russ, he can make it a moot point. He's just got to be, and my God, is he looking good in prep as well? It's the one thing I got to say. Almost everybody looks phenomenal in prep. Kiara, obviously, we mentioned in the buildup, openly saying, not a great prep. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I'm not injured enough to pull out, but I had to take a month off squatting and bench or squatting and deadlifting. That's not great. But she does have 4 weeks. You could do a lot in 4 weeks. You could do a lot in 30 days. We've talked about this. So we'll see. Almost 99% of the roster is 100%. Not only are they 100%, they're PRing. And PRing those in key battles. Turbo Tiff, Heather, both smashing it. Meg, Alba, both smashing it. PRing. The 93s, smashing it. Sunita's playing her cards close to her chest. Britt, smashing it. Exactly when you need them to peak, they're primed and ready to rock and roll. Interesting, my friend. we got some interesting statistics. We don't need to belabor and beat a dead horse here. We did the preview show for the men's, preview show for the women's, and now on this one, the public has spoken. Anything more from you? I think we're all good.
I think we're good.
And that wraps it up. As per usual, please do subscribe, give us high ratings, and until next time, six pack Lapadat, six up, and we are out.